I'm Oral Hershiser, and I am on the Blue Review. Hey, this is Sean Green. You're watching the Blue Review.
Hey, easy if we had them for Parker Bell, but we don't have lasers.
We don't have lasers. Yeah, I don't know. Do we think about getting trumpets? Is that the thing we do now? I like it. Yeah, trumpets for a win. The Dodgers a 4-1 winner last night over the Cleveland Guardians. Welcome to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcas Grant. That is Greg Bergman, and pretty successful night. I know we have things to talk about for this, but overall, Greg, successful night last night.
Yeah, I mean, it's a successful night. They actually, the offense kind of, we'll get into it a little bit, kind of, sort of started to seem like it had a little bit of something into it, but not worried about it. But I thought overall good nights. We'll talk about Shohei, who was just phenomenal, and a few other things, but it was a really good night.
Absolutely a good night. By the way, I can tell you the Blue Review is powered by LAX. We're taking off. Learn more about all the incredible changes happening now at LAX by going to lawa.org/ESPN. Lot of things that were worth seeing and talking about. Do we want to talk about CB Buckner? Do you want to just get that out of the way first?
Yeah, let's just get CB Buckner out of the way, because this is exactly why we have ABS. Is not for this specific play, but the fact that the umpires are so bad.
Replay challenges,
so bad.
ABS, all of it. In case you didn't see. So first, I guess a little bit of history. CB Buckner over the weekend had 8 calls challenged while he was behind home plate. 6 of those calls were overturned, including 2 in the same at bat. So it was a bad weekend for CB Buckner behind home plate. Things last night didn't get any better with him at first base. A ground ball to the right side, a game between the Rays and the Brewers. The Rays second baseman knocks it down, panics, makes a wild throw, and so the runner, presumably, is safe at first. And I don't know how the Rays thought to make a play on this, but whoever their first baseman is goes and tags the runner. Buckner calls him out and says that he did not touch first base. Now, on replay, it was blatant to everybody in
the history of eyes.
Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles. By the way, we need more blind celebrities because Stevie is getting old, and once he's gone, we don't have this joke to make anymore.
I mean, we can still make it no matter what.
Okay, great. Anyone could see that he had stepped on the bag. The Brewers were then forced to use one of their challenges. Fortunately, it was quickly and easily overturned to the point that both managers, even the Rays manager, was like, "Yeah, he's safe."
It's gonna show up on the bottom here, and here it comes right now. His foot is in the direct middle of the bag. There is in no way possible you could think his foot did not. Look at CB Buckner there on the right. You can see in his eyes, he's staring directly at him as his foot is in the middle of the bag.
I don't know how you miss it. I don't know how you miss it. Even if you don't see it, I mean, just if you're around baseball, the sound of a foot hitting a base has a distinct sound to it,
we trust Freddie so much at first because even though he's not looking, he can tell when the ball hits the glove, and then the foot hits. He can hear it in the pop. He knows exactly when first, so we trust him. This is insane.
As I figure most major league first basemen are, right? You do this for a while, you just sort of know how that goes. I have been very upfront to say that I believe in human element, but when it's this bad, then I have to stand down on that. I'm like, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible.
The problem is, Mark, is that they are going to prove you wrong time and time
every
again.
time.
How bad they are, especially
every time.
Especially the old guys. The old guys are just done. They can't figure out the plate, and we can talk a little bit about what happened in last night's game. The Dodgers don't use their challenges like some of the other teams, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, there was multiple ones that was like, yeah, tap. Come on, it's easy. You have 2, tap. They just refuse because they're waiting for the right moment. They don't know. Like, I don't think they fully have gotten to a point where they think, okay, we trust how this is going to be done, and we trust every player. There was one that Mookie had that was really high.
Yeah.
And he's like standing there, like, should I do it? No, should I do it? And it ended the inning.
Yeah.
Only runner on first, so it may not have made a difference. But, a home run or a hit could have changed the way that went, which we have seen many times. So I'm interested to see how the Dodgers use their challenges moving forward, because it's not very often right now.
It's not very often, although last night they were 3 for 3 in ABS challenges. So
and that was from Will Smith more so than anything.
Right, which it's sort of, I don't know. So we talk about how spring training doesn't necessarily translate into the regular season because, Teo Hernandez was hot in spring and he got a couple hits last night, so that was good. But he kind of struggled to start the season. The Dodgers with ABS were terrible. They were terrible during spring training. Like, maybe they're getting better. I have no idea. One thing that for sure works is Shohei Ohtani.
Oh yeah,
that guy. I don't know.
Thank you, Carly. You put up a couple of before we get into.
Oh yeah.
When are you having Anthony or Jeff on the show again? So our Carino, we have Jeff every Monday and Anthony every Friday.
Yep. So Mondays and Fridays you can see either Jeff Spiegel or Anthony Vitrato. So be sure to check that out. CB Buckner makes Angel Hernandez look like an all-star ump.
That I don't agree.
See, I feel like he is channeled in like some sort of Freaky Friday like occurrence. He has absorbed Angel's powers to go along with his own, which is making him worse.
Yeah, I mean they're like combining into one super awful ump,
forming like Voltron into the worst ump
power of
right.
Awfulness.
It's just like So yeah, CB Buckner. Anyway, Shohei Ohtani. Yay. Last night, 6 shutout innings from Shohei, 1 hit. 6 was as good a performance as you could have imagined to start the season. He was incredibly efficient. I mean, there was a point where I'm like, could he possibly come out for the 7th? Obviously it didn't happen, but he was just lights out last night.
Oh yeah, this is the Shohei that I was expecting to see. He was having a little bit of trouble with his command. I mean, I know some of it's the rain and like just his foot slipping and things like that. So you kind of push that aside, but he was everything that you wanted out of Shohei Ohtani. And my initial thought was clearly, this man wants a Cy Young. He went out there and he shoved. There was a point in the game where I was like, I don't want to put it out loud, but he's pitching so well. Is a no-hitter possible? No-hitter is possibly going to happen this year. I think if he can get there, because he has such a wide variety of a pitch mix. He has 7 different pitches, and he has so many swing and miss pitches that, like, the guy, the command is all there. He just looks so good.
I wonder. I mean, I think his stuff is certainly good enough to do it. It's always the question of, will Dave let it happen? Like, will Dave let a guy go long enough? Because we've seen Dave Roberts has no qualms about pulling a guy in the middle of a no-hitter if they hit that pitch number or something like that. And I think especially with them being extremely cautious about Shohei, would they let him go deep enough to actually finish one off, or would it be a potentially combined no-hitter, right? You see Shohei with, I don't know, Tanner Scott, Edwin Diaz, and they finish out a no-hitter. But
I mean, I think it's all possible, but at the same time, Shohei is a guy that is very efficient with his pitches.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was multiple times last year I look up and it's the 5th inning and he's at like 45 pitches. And like he can get guys out in such a wide variety of ways that they also have to swing at certain pitches and just pop up. If he can keep his pitch count down, which he typically does, I think Dave will let him, because I don't think it's so much about how deep he goes. It's about the pitch count for him. And getting to 90 pitches about where he stopped. If he has to get into the hundreds, that's where he may be like, no, we need you, buddy. Like, that's not something for you to go after. But I think for the most part, if he can keep that pitch count down, which he's, again, good at, I think they might let him go.
But I mean, I think to the point though, he looked great last night. You mentioned a little bit of command issues. He had the 3 walks, but other than that, just getting a lot of swing and miss, challenging hitters. I don't even know that the fastball was at its best last night, but it was more than good enough to get done what he needed to get done. What is it? The longest active scoreless inning streak in MLB belongs to players at 55 home runs.
See, that's regular season.
Yes.
I believe
Yes.
he gave up. I can't think about it. What he did. I don't remember exactly what he did in the playoffs last year. But that would be just if it's regular season and doesn't count the postseason.
It doesn't. It's just because I think it's 22 scoreless innings in the regular season. Because remember, he gave up runs in Game 7. He started Game 7 of the World Series, and
Right. Yeah, we started. Yeah, that's right. So I do feel good about that. Do you feel good about that? Like if he gets this, let's say he breaks Oral Hershise's record for scoreless inning streaks, and he gave up runs in the World Series and in the postseason. Do you feel good about it because it was the regular season?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I guess that's the weird thing about records like this when they cross a season. Because Orals was all within the context of one season. He did his 50,
right.
56, was it 50? Anyway, it all happened in 1 year, as opposed to it started in 1 year and then you have the playoffs and then you pick it up the next season. That's always a little bit weird to me, but I'm fine with it. As long as, look, if that record's going to be broken, let's keep it in house. 59, that's what it is. Let's keep it in house. That's so I'm okay with it. That's fine.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure, yes, they will recognize it and everything. I think I'm not very much of a baseball purist, but I think in this sense, I'm a little bit more purist, where it's like, well, he did it all in one season without ever giving up runs, and he didn't have the amount of time off on entire off season. I don't know. It's not going to happen anyway, probably.
Probably not.
Way ahead of ourselves, but yeah.
Also, for it to happen now with the way pitchers are used, it will take you a lot more games to get there. I mean, not that it took Oral, not that it was a short time for Oral to get to 59 innings, but that was an era where guys consistently went 8-9 innings, a whole lot more than they do right now. So, and especially if you're not giving up runs, you're definitely pitching deep into ball games. But now, when guys go 6 innings, maybe 7 innings, it's gonna take you a lot longer to get to 59 scoreless innings at that point.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it more if it ever gets close, because he's, again, the type of pitcher that can absolutely be able to do this.
Let's talk some Mookie Betts then, because Shohei, obviously fantastic on the mound. Mookie Betts is becoming a whole shortstop now, and not that he was bad last year, but you could see the development process sort of happening, and there were a few bumps along the road. I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised, knowing the kind of athlete Mookie Betts is, the things that he has been successful at in his life, that eventually he was just going to get this down. It's going to be another thing. Anthony Retrato said last night in the chat, he imagines a Gold Glove coming for Mookie Betts. That is, as much as we talk about Shohei and the incredible things he does, for Mookie to change positions to one of the toughest positions on the field and within a year be a Gold Glove candidate, that's as remarkable as anything we talk about with like Shohei or Freddie or anybody else.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I mean, I saw the stat go up there. He was tied first in defensive run saves last night. I think he actually saved probably 3 just in last night's game. Mm-hmm. He had ones where he was diving to his left. He was done ones where he was just leaping into the air to make plays and still finding a way to get it over to first base to try and double up a guy. Didn't happen, but he's what Mookie Betts has done at shortstop is amazing. I don't think there's any other way to put it other than amazing, to be able to do it at a later age too. Like it's a younger man's game, and he's in his 30s, to move from position to one of the most important positions on the field. That's incredible. And he's doing it, and he looks really, really good at it. I think it's a very good possibility, if he stays like this, that he can be the Gold Glover this year. It's like, look how high he's getting.
Yeah, I know, right? When that ball left the bat, I just assumed it was a hit. I was like, well, that's going to land in short left field. And suddenly here comes Mookie to just snag it out of the air. And as you mentioned, almost doubled up the guy on first base, you know? I mean, so
Carlo, I need to know for sure. Carlo, you didn't just like take your Photoshop skills and just raise
them up in the air a little bit higher.
He looks fake. That looks cut out, and you just throw him into a diamond, and that's what's happening with him. But yeah, now Mookie has been incredible, and I think that if he can figure himself out at the plate, which he seems to be okay at right now,
he'll get there. Yeah,
he'll get there. He has a chance at not only a Gold Glove, but he has a chance of trying to take away the MVP from Shohei Ohtani.
The side note to all this too, and this obviously we've been told is the last season for Miguel Rojas. He wants to stay with the organization in some capacity, probably a coach.
Special advisor like Kershaw?
Yeah, special assistant to the front office or whatever they're calling him. Exhibit A of Miguel Rojas's coaching skills is how he has helped Mookie Betts get more comfortable and get more effective as a defensive player at shortstop, right? Because, and you see it even in games. Was it last night or 2 nights ago? Miggy had that sort of sliding catch out in short right field on a ball that was just dropped into a really tough spot, and Miggy goes out and gets a good jump, takes a good route, makes the play, and afterwards you could see him and Mookie just sort of talking. It's like Mookie's always picking his brain about how to get better at this thing. So whenever it comes time for Miguel Rojas to step into a coaching role, his number one pupil is right there playing shortstop, wearing number 50, and a good example of what Miguel can do as an instructor. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, because they talk about things that we're not even thinking about. He's talking about things like when you see the ball off the bat, where's your first step? Are you moving a hip to move your left foot first or your right foot to get into the right position? It's all the different little things to be able to get those tiny things that make Miguel Rojas such a valuable piece. And he's going to be on this coaching staff at some point next year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to see it too. I always like especially when you have success as a franchise, to keep those key players around the organization. And when I say key players, I don't even always mean the superstars. Like, it's great. It's obviously great that Kershaw's staying around, but just those guys who do the little things that aren't necessarily marquee names, but are important. And Miguel Rojas to me is one of those guys. So looking forward to whatever is the next chapter. We got a long way to go. I'm not trying to push Miggy Rowe out the door.
Hey, it's only been 5 games, Marcus. Okay.
Yeah. Not trying to push him out the door just yet. But by the way, he's hitting so far this year.
He's been great the last 2 or 3 years that he just, is when he comes in, he just gets hits. He is just a professional at bat, a professional on the defensive side. He's a very, very valuable piece to this team, whether he's playing or not.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Last few minutes. The one questionable thing that happened last night, the Dodgers were at 2-0, and they scored a couple of runs late in the game, got 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to push it to 4-0, at which point the 4 of us in the chat all sort of agreed, well, no trumpets tonight. Blake Trinan was also warming in the bullpen. It just seemed like, all right, well, Edwin, have a seat. Take the night off. We'll let Blake Trinan finish this one out, and we'll see it potentially tomorrow. But no, the bullpen door swings open, and it's number 3, Edwin Diaz, coming out in a non-save situation in the rain at Dodger Stadium. And Greg, while he eventually closed the door and got the job done, it was not pretty last night.
No, it wasn't pretty. And I get it. I got killed. People were going, well, I put on social media, just, why did Dave do this? No matter what happens at the end of this for Diaz, I don't know why he's out there. And it's really just the fact of the rain aspect. If it was going to be a safe situation, yes, of course I would be okay with it. But when you don't have to put your closer out in that type of situation when it isn't. And it just felt like this isn't the moment to bring him out and maybe have him mess up with his mechanics or do something else. If that's going to happen to something, I want it to happen to Blake Trinan. We can get around the Blake Trinan aspect of it. I can get around Ben Kasperius or somebody else that's in the bullpen, Will Klein, whatever you want. But I just feel like you have to be a little bit more careful when it comes to your all-star closer and which of the position of need that we had for forever. So to have somebody, especially last year, so to have somebody like that and not be at full capacity. It just didn't. It felt silly and pointless to me. And look, I don't disagree with most things Dave does anymore, but I'm going to disagree with this one because I thought it was a silly move. You had somebody else warm in Lake Trinan. Just let them go out and live tomorrow and let Edwin Diaz be available today. When Yoshi Yamamoto's on the mound, and which you kind of hope that you're going to need
your closer, right?
I mean, Tanner Scott's been looking good, so at that point, sure. But I'd rather see Edwin Diaz in a clean situation. It made no sense to me to let him go out there, even if you said, "Hey, I want to go out there because I'm all ramped up." All right, buddy, don't worry about it. Just sit down. There's going to be many times like this where you're going to get ramped up and we're going to sit you back down. So this is going to be one of them.
Which, I mean, look, Diaz is a closer. He's been a closer for years now. He knows how that works. Sometimes you get ready and you don't get the call. Like sometimes that's just what happens. So yeah, I don't really know what happened with that, but it was kind of a head scratcher. And now, look, it's game 5. Tonight is game 6 of the season. It's, there's still a long way to go. This will probably be forgotten in a couple of weeks, but he threw 33 pitches last night, which means he's really not available to you tonight if you need it. Granted, again, the Dodgers have options. They can certainly use Tanner Scott if they need to. They can probably pull out Blake Trinan if they want to, if they need to. So there are options there, but you have burned your closer until sometime over the weekend in Washington is the next time he's really going to be available to you. So yeah, it was a weird move. It looked kind of sloppy. I mean, he really was struggling with his control. Just I'm guessing the mud had something to do with it. We saw guys getting their spikes clogged up pretty quickly. So yeah, Arcring, your point. Edwin has a habit of being inconsistent at times. That is also true. I think last night was more about the weather, but trust me, I have friends who are Mets fans, and they immediately said, "You're gonna love him, but there will be times he drives you crazy." And
isn't that every closer though? I think every closer drives you crazy at some point. Like Kenley Jansen drove me crazy all of the time. But yeah, I know it's slippery, not great. We're going to look back on this, and when we look at his ERA at the end of the year, it's going to be skewed because he decided to put him in this game in the rain where he couldn't get grip on his foot, and he let a run score. It's only one. It's not going to. But when you have only thrown like 3 innings at that point, that one run skyrockets it. But it's all going to go down, of course. But you know what I mean, though. We're going to look at the end of the year, and we're say, if he didn't go in. On March 31st,
right? We're I don't know why they brought him in that game against the Guardians. Like, what was Dave thinking? As the Dodgers lock up their 96th win of the season or something weird like that. So, yeah. Otherwise,
you thought you said 95.
I did say 95. I'm revising it now.
You're just coming to my side. All right, great.
After what I saw Roki Sasaki do the other night, I'm like, well, we got to just knock it up a box. Maybe it's one more win than I thought they were going to get the start of the season.
We didn't get to Yoshi. We didn't get to the little Yoshi.
We didn't. Can we pop up the Yoshi? I know, Carl, I think you got like a Yoshi photo or something like that. Can we pop that up before we finish today?
It was Yoshi night, and Yoshi is on the mound tonight. It's a
and then there was, I know the Dodgers social media had that video with Yoshi, aka Donald Glover, all pointing at one another in the clubhouse or something like that. But I would imagine the lines were. I haven't checked eBay. I should check eBay and see if there it is.
There it is. Yoshi.
I'm gonna look Dodgers Yoshi.
Oh, it's probably up there. It is probably an expensive item that is.
I'm sure it is. Wow. Yes. The first one I see is at $350. So.
Oh yeah. So if you're at last night's game and you don't want the Yoshi bobblehead, you can make some cash.
You can make some cash on it. So there it is. So if you want a Yoshi bobblehead, the cheapest I'm seeing right now is $250. So you're coming out of pocket at least $250 for a Yoshi bobblehead on eBay. So Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound tonight in the finale of the series. Dodgers trying to take the series. It's currently at a game apiece. First pitch at 5:20 tonight. It's a little bit of an earlier start for this one, but we'll be back with you tomorrow to talk about all of that and more. Stick around. The Sedano and Cap Morning Extravaganza is coming up next. But thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging out. Thanks to Carlo for production assistance. Thanks everybody for just vibing with us for everything. And thanks to LAX as well. So for Greg, I am Marcus. This has been a Blue Review presented by LAX. See you tomorrow, 6:30 to 6:55 here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel.
All right.